Hey, y'all.
Hola, welcome to 30 Minutes Down South. She's Allison.
And he's Carlos, and we are two top producing realtors.
With two extremely different Southern upbringings.
Join us each week as we explore the Lake Murray area with our special guests.
And welcome, Allison.
Hi, Carlos.
Episode number... Remember, we're not keeping track of the numbers. But this one is going to be a good one.
Well, I mean, we're on one of my favorite topics this week.
Donuts.
Food. Any food. Yeah. Especially sweets.
We're going to talk with Trey Dabney. He's the owner of ChickenButt Donuts, local shop here in Chapin. If you haven't been there, have you been there? Yeah, you have.
Oh, yeah.
Many times.
I've been multiple times. Actually, when Shelby and I, another colleague of mine.
Yeah, I know Shelby.
Yeah. When we were doing videos years ago, we actually went and talked with him right after his shop opened. And it's amazing the success he's had in the last 5 years. That's
cool. That's very cool. And that success, well, first of all, the donuts are really good.
They are.
They're also local, and they're local run and local business, so it's something new and it's something that people should support. And their menu, is so wild sometimes.
It's so different. I went in there the first time and I was like, okay, I want a donut. I'm thinking like Krispy Kreme, do you want glazed chocolate or lemon filled kind of? And he's like, okay, what do you want on it? I'm like, I don't know. What do you mean? What do I want on it? He's like, well, here are our options. And it's like 100 different scenarios you could come up with, which is really cool.
He's also very funny. I mean, if you follow him in social media, you realize that he will come up with the craziest ideas and the craziest picture. How about we start the conversation with him?
Yeah.
Trey Dabney. And welcome, Trey Dabney. How you doing today, Trey?
Doing very well. How are y'all?
We are doing well, thank you. And we sure appreciate you taking the time to come on and talk to us today.
Pleasure is all mine. Glad to see you both.
Well, Trey, the first question that I must ask is that everybody asks whenever they see your donut shop, and it's, where did you come up with the name ChickenButt?
ChickenButt Donuts. I know the answer to this question, actually.
So actually, all credit goes to my kids. As we were opening the shop and trying to figure out what we were going to call it, and by the way, I wanted to do a tiki theme and have, Polynesian masks and palm trees and the like. But while I was working on it, the kids came in and did that thing that kids do where they wind you up, say, Dad, guess what? And I said, what? And they said, ChickenButt. And they thought that it was the funniest thing they'd ever said. And it struck me, it's like ChickenButt. Donuts, it rhymes. Can I get away with this? So I drew up a logo around it, and it stuck, and it's been great ever since.
So Trey, how do you even get into the donut making business? I mean, did you just wake up one morning and say, you know what, I think donuts would make a great place, a new place to open in Chapin, a donut shop?
My wife Sue and I have a whole lot of experience in service industry jobs.
Okay.
And when we had kids, we sort of moved out of the service industry and got started working for Amazon, of all places. After a few years of Amazon, we missed the service industry. We wanted to get back into it. It was just a matter of finding the best way to get back in that fit us. And we stumbled on the idea of donuts. Actually, Sue stumbled on the idea and thought that it would be worth a try. And the way you get into it is you just do it. We splurged. We bought a donut making machine. We started making calls. We spent a year teaching ourselves how to make donuts in our garage. And after we had perfected the process, decided to go ahead and get the location that we're at now, and the rest is history.
That is awesome. I remember, personal story, I remember when I met you, my son and your son were playing soccer at Crooked Creek, And I remember those days when you and Susan were working on Amazon, and we had dinner one night, and we were mentioning the donuts, and you say, yeah, we're bringing it to Amazon, and people love it. And fast forward, I guess it was a couple months after that, I remember you saying, and we got a surprise, but I can't talk about it. And you didn't talk about it that night. And then I fast forward to a couple months later, I saw that you opened a shop and you named it ChickenButt. That was so cool,
Absolutely. Man. Thank you very much. It all happened kind of fast once it started going. We used the staff at Amazon as our test crowd. We gave away free donuts for the better part of 3 months.
Just like Jeff Bezos does.
That's and after we used that market research, that was our market research to decide what kind of donuts we were going to make regularly and perfected the recipes. Then it was time to move. And that night in question that you're talking about, it's like, okay, we got a surprise, because we thought we were on the verge of setting the deal that was going to get us that location, but you don't want to count your chickens before they're hatched.
Yeah.
And once everything started happening, it all went really, really quickly from that point. That was crazy times.
Yeah, and since then, it's not uncommon to see lines outside your shop and lines inside your shop. Getting them, I must say, they're fantastic. They're delicious.
They are. And y'all have been open, what, about 5 years now?
Yes, ma'am. It was 5 years on January 1st, on November 1st of last year. So we're just a little past 5 years. Thank you for the kind words. We've had good luck selling the donuts, and it's a real honor. It's a lot of fun to be able to make these things and do this thing for this community. Chapin has been great to us. We've had a great response from the people here, and it's the best, man. It's just the best.
Yeah, Trey, and I know that you have. Seems like every other week or every week you try a different flavor. You bring something that, depending on the holiday, depending on the season, but you do have a standard 5 or 6 type of donuts, correct? Can you take us a little bit on what's in the menu?
Absolutely. So every day that we're open, we serve a fried vanilla cake donut. And the big hook for what we do is it is made to order donuts. You tell us what to put on the donut, how to top it, what glazes, spreads, toppings, fillings, drizzles you want, and we make it the way you want it. Now, on other days, in addition to those fried vanilla cake donuts, we'll have red velvet cake donuts, perhaps blueberry, perhaps apple cider. And in addition to donuts, we've expanded into other treats as well, like cinnamon rolls, apple fritters, and a few others are in the pipe, surprises that I won't reveal just yet, but new product is coming.
I'm getting hungry right now.
Well, I think y'all are very unique in that you have, made to order. I remember walking in there one day and I was like, okay, I want some donuts. And you're like, what do you want? And I went,
all of them.
Right. I mean, it's like, where do you start? Because you have so many options.
It is kind of overwhelming for a first timer, and we've got some systems in place to try to make it easy for anybody who's ordering for the first time. There are other donut chains, donut shops that have a model like ours where they do made to order, but I will put our selection up against anybody in the country. Our selection is just absolutely huge. Dozens of toppings, dozens of glazes, spreads, fillings. It's a lot to choose from. And for a first timer, for somebody who's unfamiliar with the process, it can be a whole lot to absorb all at once. But what I always tell first timers is it gets easier every time you come back.
That is awesome, man. And now that you mentioned other donut shops, I mean, one of the coolest things in social media is your social media presence and your interaction with those other big chains like Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme. Like, it's just funny when you are placing a competition on social media without talking them down. It's just in a funny, very funny way that I recommend anybody that follow you and follow Chicken Butt Donuts because it's just funny, man. Do you come up with that yourself? Is that Susan behind the wall? Who? How does that work? How does that creative process work?
Well, I have to take all of the credit or the blame, as the case may be, for what happens on social media. Sue prefers to leave that in my court, and I'm just kind of out there treading water. I'm just throwing whatever I can out there and hoping that it works. We don't mind poking some good-natured fun at the big box stores.
Mm-hmm.
And look, as you say, I'm not here to badmouth anybody. Uh, Not Dunkin' Donuts, not Krispy Kreme, but we're a local donut shop and we're proud to be a local donut shop. And we have a special place in our heart for all businesses that are local. Local businesses are what give any community character. And we wanted to make sure to define ourselves that way and have fun while we were doing it. Social media has been a great opportunity to do that. And we have fun, making goofy little videos or funny little picture stories. And yes, poking fun at the competition. We'll do that too.
So, Trey, speaking of social media, lately I have seen quite a few of your posts that include a cat.
He went viral.
Tell us about the cat.
We're very, very happy about Oreo, the cat in question, going viral. Oreo, and full credit here, full disclosure, Oreo was first adopted by our neighbors at Survey Instrument Repair right next door. Uh, Ed and Diane began taking care of Oreo. And as Oreo began sort of roaming the area, all of the shopkeepers, us included, came to know who he was and started taking care of him. And he's a mascot for that area, for that uh, area of shops right there in White Rock. Um, Sweetest cat ever, and he happened to just come and sit in front of our front door one day, snapped a few before we were open, snapped a few pictures of him, and lo and behold, the cat went viral. It's impossible to calculate how many people have seen a picture of Oreo now. By our best calculation, it's somewhere in excess of 10 million people.
Oh my Lord.
But it could be more. Oreo is now famous, and we're lucky to have that cat around.
That's awesome. That's the power of the cats. I mean, I remember when YouTube was growing up, the majority of the videos was because of cats. People
Grumpy
love to
cat.
see cats.
Yeah.
Maybe we should bring a cat to our podcast and get some people to watch this.
People all over the world love cats. Oreo, our biggest country of interest, of course, is the United States. But because of Oreo, number 2 country, Brazil. All of a sudden, we have a presence in Brazil's social
Really?
media, specifically because of Oreo. Japan.
No. I know Brazilians. It's
Japan.
not because of the cat. It's because of chicken butt. I know
Is that
Brazilians,
what it
man.
So, speaking of
yeah,
other countries,
Oreo's international.
Trey, have y'all ever tried shipping your donuts? I mean, because they are very unique. It seems like it might be a market for that.
Many have asked, and what I'll say about it is this: if we can find a way to ship donuts and keep a quality level that is consistent with what we want to provide, we will do it. We've not yet found that way.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean that we're not looking.
Don't you have some
but-
connections in Amazon?
I do. Perhaps one day, like I said, working on it, Carlos. I'm working on it.
Trey,
But yeah, that's a fairly common question. I'm asked to ship donuts at least once a week now.
and in that same line of expanding, have you considered, are you looking into opening a second shop somewhere?
Expansion, has always been on our mind. There's only been two things that have prevented expansion up to this point. The first is a worldwide pandemic hit in the second year of operation, which threw all of everybody's plans out the window, ours included. The second uh, issue going forward is you have to remember we don't have any idea what we're doing. We've never owned our own business before. We never made donuts before. Everything that's happening at ChickenButt is something that we have figured out as we're going along. And again, if I can figure out how to make that jump from local donut shop to franchise opportunity, it will happen. I would much rather sell donut shops than donuts, you know.
I think that you will love to be the marketing guru behind it. I still can praise you. Listen, the donuts are delicious. There's nothing, but that's aside, your marketing, your social media presence is just top of the line.
Thank you very much. We are happy to have that opportunity. Just in my lifetime, this is social media is an opportunity that has arisen out of nowhere. We couldn't do what we do without the internet and without, Facebook and Instagram and all these different platforms. We're grateful to have it. It's a great resource for guys like us that don't have a big budget to spend on television ads or radio ads or whatever is out there. It's fantastic. We intend to take full advantage of it for as long as we can.
So Trey, you said before we actually hopped on here that y'all are open until noon every day. Is that 6 days a week, 7 days a week?
So during the week, we are closed 1 day a week. We're closed on Mondays. Tuesday through Friday, though, we'll be open 6 a.m. till noon. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, it turns out people like to sleep in on the weekend. Who knew?
Who knew?
8 a.m. to noon is what we do on the weekends.
Okay. And about how many people do you employ? How many does it take to keep ChickenButt Donuts running?
Well, with Sue and I right now, working as often as we're working, we're able to get by with, it's fairly small staff, 4 or 5 people wind up making it work. We've run larger staffs in the past when we tried to be open for extra hours and whatnot, but I think we're comfortable with what we've discovered now. Our hours and staff size are about where we want them to be for what we want to do.
Trey, one question. What's Chapin's most popular flavor for the donut?
Without a doubt, no question at all, it is the maple bacon donut.
I knew it.
I knew you were going to say that.
I love that one too.
Yeah, I do too.
You can put me into that one.
You know you're in the
Thank
South.
You. That is the donut that built ChickenButt.
Yeah, definitely know you're in the South when bacon on a donut is the top seller.
And what is the craziest flavor you've ever made?
Ooh, so whenever anyone asks me that question, I tell this story. A girl came in one day and said, "Hey, it's my birthday." I said, "Fantastic. You get a donut on us. What do you want?" She said, "I want everything you have on one donut."
Oh.
I said, "You want everything, all the glazes and spreads, toppings, fillings, drizzles?" She said, "Yes." And I said, "I don't know if I can fit that on one donut." And she said, "Try." So I was not able to actually fit it on one donut, but it fit on 5 donuts stacked on top of each other. So that's what we wound up giving her for her birthday. 5 donuts stacked with every glaze, every filling, every topping, every drizzle, all in one. God bless that girl, legend that she is. She ate the whole thing right there.
Oh, wow.
Well done.
Now, you should have gotten that on video for social media.
Right?
that actually is very creative, Trey. That's a glimpse of the creativity on and how much fun you're having on your shop. It feels like I know there is a lot of work. I mean, I understand the food industry is definitely not an easy industry to be into. But it looks so much fun from the outside. It looks like, you're having a blast in there.
Well, I'll tell you, we are. Amazon was a wonderful place to work, and you won't catch me saying anything bad about Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
But Jeff Bezos was less interested in making sure you had a good time than he was in making sure that, the numbers turned out right. It has been a great quality of life move for us. We do have a blast. Sue and I both, we adore interacting with customers. We love coming up with new ways to serve donuts. We love being our own bosses. I mean, when you're your own boss, you've got the best boss in the world. So it's been a great, great experience for us. I would recommend to anyone uh, to go into business for themselves. It's fantastic.
That is awesome, Trey. That is
Awesome.
awesome.
Well, we're thankful to have a great local donut shop to come to, and it's refreshing to come in and see smiling faces and people actually enjoying what they do.
I have a question.
Of course you do.
Yes.
And I meant to ask this when we were talking about the big box donuts. Have they ever approached you in some way? Say, hey, congratulations, we're looking what you're doing. Can we share a recipe? Or hey, stop it? Or has there any communication from any of those guys to you?
Well, I have communicated only 2 times with the other big box locations. Once was with Duck Donuts,
Mm-hmm.
who who sent me a cease and desist order because I had unknowingly downloaded a picture from a shareware site to put on my website, but it was one of theirs. It was something their photo actually. It was a photo that one of their photographers had actually taken. So it belonged to them. They sent me a cease and desist order. Okay, I took the picture down. When Dunkin' Donuts opened up in Ballantyne, I actually sent an employee over with 3 boxes of ChickenButt donuts to welcome to the area, and they kicked her out. So I'm not sure that went over the way it was supposed to.
What? They didn't eat the donuts?
Amazing, right? They just said no, thank you, no, and
My gosh.
please leave.
You talk about corporate suits. I mean, who turns down free chicken
I
butt
know.
donuts?
Who does that? Who does that?
We wouldn't, I can tell you that.
You can say that here. We will never ever turn it down. Actually, that brings corporation and that brings a cool thing about your donut shop is that when we send it to clients and when we have parties and we bring a bunch of donuts, it's the first thing to go. It is absolutely a home run, and that's a good idea for people that are always looking what to give to clients or vendors, what to bring
A
down.
little thank you.
Yeah, highly recommended. And again, that bacon maple. Where did you came up with that one? What's the story behind that chicken? That maple bacon.
We, in the year before we opened, we looked at what some other places were doing. There are some ideas that we lifted straight from other people. There are other ideas that we modified. I cannot remember precisely whether we stole the maple bacon idea or modified one that we saw out there. All I know is that when we actually did it, Sue and I looked at each other, and the first words out of her mouth were, "It's time to open a storefront."
Nice. Well, we reached our time limit. Thank you so much, Trey. I really enjoy having you, enjoy seeing you grow. I'm sure that we're going to have chicken butt donuts for the next 20, 50 years. And I can guarantee you it's not going to be in Chapin only. I have a feeling that something's going to happen. Somebody's going to help you out. Something is going to happen, and you're going to become nationwide. I can guarantee you that.
He predicted it
Your
here
mouth
today.
to God's ears.
And
Thank you so much
Thank you,
for the
Trey.
kind words. It's been an honor to be here. Thank you for having me. Hey, if we can go nationwide, if we can go worldwide, I'm sure it will be your recommendation right there that started the ball rolling.
Brazil, baby. Brazil wants you.
That's right.
All right, Trey. Thanks again.
Hi.
Thank you so much, guys.
See you around, man. And guess what?
Chicken butt.
That was cool. Chicken butt. Okay. I'm gonna ask you a question. Is "but" a good word, a good word, a bad word? Like, what's the deal with it? Because some people say, "Oh, but you cannot say but," and some people will say, "Yeah, that's fine." For example, Damien was not allowed to say "but." That's cool.
Well, my kids are not allowed to say but.
Yeah, you're supposed to say "hiney,"
You
right?
say your hiney, your bottom, or my girls like to say my booty.
I don't think that chicken bottom will be a good name.
Chicken booty.
Or chicken booty or
donuts.
chicken hiney.
Yeah.
I think that chicken butt just like right there in the target.
Yeah.
But what's the difference? What's the problem with butt?
It's offensive.
You think so?
I mean, as an adult, but coming out of little people's mouths, it's just, that's the way I was raised.
Okay. No. I'm honestly curious about it, because the first time.
It's kind of crass.
What does crass mean?
It's just trashy. Not very polite.
When a kid says so.
Yeah.
But how about the song and say,
sassy,
I like big butts and that? That's
that's totally different.
Okay.
So
now I'm 100%
much more open
confused.
and liberal with my music than I
Okay.
am with, the way I allow my children to speak. They can sing it. They just can't say it.
I'm telling you, this is why English is so confusing.
I know.
There's something that is that's right, there is wrong, there is crassy. I got
Crass. Yeah.
crass. Now I learn a new word. So okay, so just to summarize,
It's also like my kids can't say pee.
what?
Like if they need to go to the bathroom, they can't say, I need to go pee.
So what did they say?
I need to go potty or I need to go to the bathroom.
And that's until what age?
Indefinitely.
What do you mean indefinitely?
Well, I don't say it either.
Well,
My grandmother would have smacked me if that would have come out of my mouth.
yeah, my street cred will go to the ground if I come. Excuse me, guys, I gotta go and go and to potty. I mean,
I have
come
to go
on.
powder my nose.
Yeah. No, seriously, like there's gotta be like an age limit when you're like, okay, man, you're cool. You don't have to say potty anymore. You can say you gotta take a or you gotta take. No, you don't say that.
But they can say chicken butt.
What about number 2?
No, we're getting off on a tangent here. Shocking.
No,
I know.
I'm listen, this is a podcast that is meant to inform people, right? To educate people. You're literally educating me because I always had that you are. I always had that question in my head on why are some words allowed, and I question Damon too when we come back and he's like,
It's so much a Southern thing, though.
well, okay.
A Southern, like South Carolina, not a Southern Venezuelan.
I remember, I remember using. I would say bad words. What's the name for that?
Bad words.
Bad words. I don't even
Curse
remember
words.
ever being correct. I remember my dad saying, "Hey, you got to slow down on it, man. You're saying too much." I remember you.
He probably still tells you that.
Well, at the beginning of this podcast, you were very adamant that you did not want to hear one single bad word coming out of my mouth. Like extremely adamant.
I
Like,
was.
It's either you clean it up or I'm out.
That's right.
And I have cleaned it up.
You have.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
I don't curse in it, and I do curse outside of the studio. I'm working on trying to be better. But sometimes you need some authority on it. Sometimes you need some, no? There's no
Sometimes.
reason. I'm trying to justify it. You're looking at me
I
like,
need a sweet
sweet what?
donut. See, I'm reeling you back in here.
You are. Nicely done. Well, I guess that is 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
30 minutes on the nose.
It is.
Thank you so much. I hope you learn a lot about local businesses, chicken butt donuts, and cursing. And what to say and what not to say, and when to say and when not to say. I like big butts. I'm telling you, that's why
Big
Brazil.
chicken butts.
Like that's why Brazil.
That's why he's
They're
trending
so
there.
popular over there. They do have nice butts.
Chicken butt.
Bye.